Hello everyone, good evening. This is Dr. Praveen Ramchandra. I will be the moderator for this session. The topic for today's webinar is do's and don'ts for doctors in COVID-19 pandemic.
Thanks, Dr. Praveen, for organizing this one. And yeah, we will start with the first topic. The first topic of mine is what a doctor should do right from his journey from home, starting from home till coming back to home, and what else to do. So that will be the first topic of which I will be touching. The second topic, Charpati will be dealing what to do in the hospital, and then we will proceed accordingly. So first of all, if we are working as a team, it's always better to divide the work between the teams, not as an alternate day or once in 3 days. It's always better to divide a 15 days, because particularly if unfortunately, if some of us will come in direct contact with an unknown COVID positive patient, or if some of us become positive to this one, if both the consultants are in touch with the patient, then both of them has to go for home quarantine, and the work of the department will completely come to a shut. So it's always better when 2 or more people are there as working as a team, or in a bigger departments where there are so many consultants. It's better to divide the work of 15 days each, so that for the first 15 days one team will be working, and for the second 15 days the other team will be working. The changes that are required are, because we need to take regular showers, though it is summer, but still we need to take at least twice a day regular shower from head bath. So it's always better to cut our hair to the bare minimum, though there is a scare of going towards the barbers, which is there, but still we need to cut the hair to the bare minimum. The second thing that we need to change in our appearance, particularly for people like me who have beard, or for the people who have a larger beard, is to shave the beard to the neatest possible way, because that will help in the snugly fitting of the mask whenever we go for our clinical work. So from home, after taking the shower and leaving to the hospital, one approach is I wear the scrubs right from the home, and then I go to the hospital, which I think is the preferred approach. The second approach is, once we go to the hospital, the first thing that we need to do is go to the changing room and change from our formal coats into the scrubs. We need to avoid all unnecessary accessories which we generally take, like the watches, the wallets, the jewelry, particularly the female consultants or female doctors, and the bare minimum things has to be taken while going to the hospital. And we need to find some old pair of footwear, so that during the once this time period of the COVID infection is done, this footwear can be thrown away. And particularly in my home or in the apartment or also in the hospital, it's always better to avoid the lifts and escalators for 2 reasons. One thing is, these are the locked up places wherein the aerosols can be there and crowding of the places will be there. Second thing is, as we are in the lockdown, there is a lack of physical activity, and getting up the stairs of a few floors will provide some amount of at least some physical activity. It's better to drive self, because we don't know, because with each and every person we are coming into interaction, whether it be our driver, our cook, or our housemaid, or our staff, each and everyone are potential to have this infection. So it's better to have minimal contact, and it's better to drive by ourselves. It's a good idea to keep a large sticker on the car that we are a doctor on duty. Otherwise, particularly in the cities like Hyderabad, there is regular checking and by the police and interrupting to see why we are going and where we are going. So it's a good idea to keep a large sticker on the car that we are doctor and we are on duty. Within the car, it's better to keep the Bluetooth if it is available in the car. If a Bluetooth facility is not there, so many speakers are available wherein our phone can be attached to the Bluetooth, so that repeated touching of the phone can be avoided right from the car itself. Some extra things I generally put up in the car for the doctors who have the car, but for a few doctors or for DMOs or for the students who are going on their two-wheelers, all these things may not be required. They can simply replace this one with a small bag which will have a polythene within it, which can be easily disposed. But for the consultants who have the car, these are the extra fittings that I keep within the car. One is a small dustbin wherein I can keep all the things that I remove. I keep a sanitizer with me, either a spray sanitizer, alcohol based, which with a gas or a simple push type of a sanitizer in the car. The third thing is I tend to keep my regularly wearing mask, preferably a N95 mask, with me in the car. I keep a few covers of my footwear, shoe covers within my car, as well as a box with tissue papers in the car. As well as to keep the face mask, I generally use a glass made up of either Tupperware or such type of a glass made tiffin box. Or second thing is, if I don't have the facility of this type of a box, then I can use a simple brown paper wherein I can keep my mask after coming from the work. So in the car, these are a few fittings which I suggest. One thing is the four upper things I think are mandatory. One is a dustbin, second one is a hand sanitizer extra in the car, and shoe covers, as well as the box to keep the masks. Other things which are optional but recommended are keeping tissues, a few more masks, because if the police or someone interrupt while driving, it's better we keep this mask and low down our window and then speak to them, and we can keep for extra gloves whenever they are required. So once I step out of the car, I am wearing my scrubs from the home. And once I reach my hospital, what I'm doing is I am putting in the face mask by myself. I am wearing the shoe covers, putting some paper tissues within my pocket to use it, and using a pocket sanitizer. I'm not using any accessories. This is how I would ideally be looking while I step out of the car. And it's always better to avoid giving our car keys to the valet parking, because most of the corporate hospitals where we work, there are facilities of the valet parking. It's better if we take it to the place of parking and we park by ourselves. And we have to remember that whenever we get a free time, it's always better not to indulge in a lot of chit chat, because our colleagues and the staffs who are present in the hospital are more potential sources of corona infection rather than our patients. So once I finish my clinical work, from this point to what to do in the hospital will be dealt in a few minutes by Chalapati. Once I finish my clinical work, I come back to the car, and by the tissues that are present in my pocket, I open the door, handle door, by using the tissues. And inside the dustbin that I have shown, I'll be putting in the. Once I am within the car, I will put on the tissues within the dustbin, and the shoe covers that were present in that dustbin, as well as the mask that I am going to wear. I will be taking in my Tupperware or a glass box or within the paper cardboard. And all those things, after I go home, I'm not going to throw it outside, because these are biological and hazardous waste. I keep it aside, and then the next day when I go to the hospital, I'm going to carry this polythene bag with all the waste, and I'm going to give it to the hospital management system so that they dispose it off in a proper way. And once I am at home, after parking the car, going to my room, first thing that I do is I remove my shoes outside of the home, keep it in the rack before entering the home. It's better not to take the shoes within the home. And opening of the door, I tend to keep one tissue box by the side of my door. So I take one tissue, open the knob. Though we clean the knobs of the doors regularly with the sanitizer, but it's a simple idea to keep a tissue box by the side. So whenever we are opening, we can take one tissue and open the door. And once we are inside, by the side of the door, it's better to keep one more trash bags wherein these tissues can be thrown. After entering the home, the first place that I go in is my bathroom, wherein I remove all my clothes, put it in the washing machine, add some detergent, preferably with some hot water, and wash the clothes in the washing machine with semi-automatic or a dryer thing. And then I take the shower. I take the shower with the head, with a proper scrubbing of the hands, hair, and everything. And once only then I come out and I speak to my family members or etc. It's better to maintain a separate room. This is particularly important for the people who are posted in the hospitals wherein the COVID infection is there, and particularly in the people who are high risk of getting exposed to with these COVID-19 patients, like the people in the ICU, etc. But otherwise, also all patients who are coming to our hospitals or clinics are to be considered as the potential patients. So keeping a separate room and a separate bathroom is always preferable. So there is a concept of toilet flume now, as evidence is coming that rectal swabs as well as within the stools also the COVID infection is seen up to around a minimum of 11 days post discharge. So while flushing the toilet, if the lid is not properly closed, small aerosols can be generated, which can go up to as much as 6 to 10 inches or sometimes even more. And these are the potential of infection. So within the home, it's better within the hospital, it's better to avoid the toilet as much as possible. But within the home also, if we are using it, proper sanitization should be there. Flushing should be done after closing the lid. And yeah, there should be a gap to other person using the same toilet if they are using. And even within the home, particularly with the elderly people or with our other family members, if they are having comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension, etc., we should maintain a minimum distance of 1 to 2 meters. Social distancing or physical distancing is a must. We have to be mentally prepared and to speak with and communicate with our family, particularly with our elders as well as the kids. These family times are awaited till this pandemic is over, which may take a few months, so that they doesn't feel that we are distancing themselves. And most important thing is, even with the slightest of our infections, whether it be myalgia, fever, or sore throat, the threshold for getting investigated, getting ourselves investigated should be high. So we should not ignore our symptoms, because we'll be keeping not only the patients and staff, but also our family into other peril. So apart from this one, these are a few S's which we advocate. Taking daily a good amount of sunlight, and some supplements of vitamins, particularly with antioxidants, having good sleep, stretches and exercises, having connection with the Almighty, that is spirituality and meditation, taking a smoothie wherein we take good amount of fiber and micronutrients so that our microbiome is healthy, and eating in a very sensible manner, and to stop smoking if at all we have any habit, and always maintaining the social distance is important. Yeah, thank you. Praveen.
Thank you, Dr. Khalik.